Well, I want to welcome everyone, and Ruth and I and Gloria are just excited that you're with us today. One of the things that was on my mind, I thought, how does this work, is we start with one cell, and that little cell divides and becomes a baby. So how does that happen? How does that they divide and one decides to be an eye cell and another one decides to be a nose cell and another one decides to be a heart? How in the world does that happen? And when I learned about redox, it all suddenly made sense, because the redox are the signaling molecules that make that happen. We're going to learn more about that. So how many of you have heard about antioxidants? Okay, that in the past was one of the big things in nutrition. We've got to have antioxidants to have our immune system and be healthy. Well, redox is the new kid on the block, and I'm so excited about it. So today we're going to learn about redox from Alan Noble in a few minutes, and then Dr. Walker is going to come on and share with us as well. But to begin with, I'd like to just have Ruth share a little bit about what it's done and meant for her.
Okay, so I learned about this technology from Gloria, and we watched a lot of videos that first day. And I was super impressed with the anti-aging properties. And so that's why I am so passionate about this. And so on August 15th was one of my first days taking the redox molecules, and I drink 8 to 12 ounces a day, and I use the Renew 28 on my face and the gel around my eyes. And as you can see from the before and after pictures, my skin is much more tighter and younger looking in just a few short months. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. That should have been that way.
So when I was 70, we loved to backpack. We loved to hike and mountain climb. And we were in the Sierras when I was 70. It was so hard. I was always the last one in the group climbing. I just couldn't get enough air. It seemed like, particularly if we were above 8,000 feet. And I told my husband, because he was planning a bigger, better trip the next year, and I told him, take good pictures. I love to hike with him. It's really special for us, but I just hurt too much. And so he said, well, how about I carry some Crea with us and see if that helps. One of the things, they have it in little pouches that you can carry. So we did. It was extra weight, but oh my goodness, I was at the front of the pack. And yes, I was tired at night, but in the morning I was raring to go. And it was really difficult. We were rock climbing with our backpacks. We were mostly above 10,000 feet. So it was just amazing, the difference when I had the Crea. So can we go to the next? I hike almost every day, and I take my dog out hiking. One day we were out there in June, I guess, and another dog came, and the two dogs were just running around being crazy. I fell, and I met a stick on the way down, poked a good size hole. Thank goodness not on the eye, but right there by the tear duct. And so I struggled home. As soon as I got home, put a Cea on my eye because it'll help stop bleeding, and I didn't want to have an infection. So went to the hospital, had some surgery, and the doctor, I have to tell you, June 18th, that's how I looked. From June 10th to June 18th, it was blacker. It was awful looking. Then when I went to on June 18th to get the stitches out, the doctor was amazed at how well it had healed. And I was spraying ASEA, putting the gel on every day. And by June 26th, you could hardly tell that it was there.
And this is Rosie. She's like really amazing. This is a really amazing testimony. At age 84, her son introduced her to the Renew and the Redox. And so she would use 4 ounces of the Redox daily. She would drink it, and she'd use two tubes of the Renew monthly on the Renew 28 on her face. And she didn't at first even realize that anything was happening, but luckily her son had taken a picture of her. And at 7 weeks, she noticed a remarkable change in her skin. And this is her at 86, 87, and this is her at 91 today. It's just an amazing testimony of how this product helps with anti-aging and can reverse actual aging. And next, we're going to take you to realredoxresults.biz, and I'll have Marian put these in the chat, or you could take a screenshot so that you can go back to these sites. They both have a password of Redox. The realredoxresults.biz has more of a business edge to it, and the realredoxresults.com has testimonies that you can go to check on different health issues. Okay, so my password's already been entered, REDOX. And I also want to say that there may be some screens that show up blurry. That's just because it's a third screen share. It's not your computer, and it just happens sometimes.
Hello and welcome to the ASEA Opportunity. My name is Alan Noble and I've been a home-based entrepreneur for almost 30 years. In this short video, I'm going to introduce you to an opportunity to create a significant residual income by taking advantage of what some experts are calling the single greatest health science breakthrough of our lifetime, brought to you by a company called ASEA. The breakthrough is called a Seer Redox, a health and anti-aging technology that represents a new category in health science that is 10 to 15 years ahead of its time, a technology that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible. A high-impact technology that gets astonishing, life-changing results. Protected with patents and trade secrets, we have no competition, no copycats, no other company in the world has anything like it. No one. And Seer Redox is validated by third-party independent science, and yet it is still the best kept secret in health, as most people don't even know this technology exists. Does that sound like opportunity to you? Now, if you're already familiar with the Seer Redox technology, then consider the next couple of minutes a quick recap. However, if this is your first introduction to ASEA, then allow me to explain. To grasp the Seer Redox breakthrough, you must first understand that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells are passing tremendous amounts of information to keep your body running at optimal health. Any breakdown in this vital communication, in this signaling, and you cannot achieve your full health potential. Imagine your home's on fire. You call the fire department. They've got the big red truck, the firefighters, the fire hose, everything they need to put out the fire. But what if you have a bad cell signal? They don't get the message. Your home goes up in smoke. It's the same in your body. If your cells can't signal, little else matters. Now, up until now, the multi-billion-dollar supplement industry has put all of their focus and attention on the fire truck. Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, exotic juices, essential oils, and CBD oils. No one is focusing on the critical cell signal until now. Seer Redox is the world's first and only cell signaling supplement. For the first time, we can amplify and clarify this critical cell signal, and the difference it's making in people's lives is absolutely astonishing. This signaling technology is empowering people to feel better than ever before, helping folks with challenges they may have had for decades, proving to be the missing link to better health and vitality. And it's not just health. Casual athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength, and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. And with Renew 28, our topical cell signaling gel, seeing is believing, resulting in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging. And when applied to sore joints or muscles, we often see dramatic improvement in 5 minutes or less. And as I said earlier, this astonishing technology has been validated by third-party independent science, and thanks to multiple patents, there's nothing else like it in the world. So at this point, allow me to share a little of the story behind the breakthrough. The founders of ASEA, Vertus Norton and his son Tyler, were both extremely well-respected corporate strategists working with several multi-billion-dollar companies. They had bought an unfinished version of this technology from a struggling biotech company. They brought in a team of brilliant scientists led by an atomic medical physicist, and soon they achieved their breakthrough. They stabilized the technology that science had said was impossible. The goal now was to simply sell their new technology to the pharmaceutical industry and walk away. However, knowing that their product was 100% safe with 0 levels of toxicity, they started 40 people using the product. Many of these people began getting remarkable results, and they naturally started sharing it with others. And soon there were 135 people in 20 countries benefiting from the breakthrough. Soon a pharmaceutical company put in a multi-million-dollar offer, but with one condition. Every single person drinking the product had to stop, regardless of the life-changing benefits they might have been experiencing. So it's important for you to know that the founders of ASEA made a principled, purpose-driven decision and said no to the massive payout and yes to the health and welfare of this small group of people. So what now? They have something that people deserve to know about. But how do we tell the world that this powerful technology exists? Both Vertus and Tyler knew that their cutting-edge technology would require a little education and personal experience. They'd also seen that when people benefited from the product, they naturally would share it with others. So they chose word of mouth, referral marketing, network marketing. And this opens up tremendous financial opportunity for people like you and me. Someone who wants to build an exciting residual income while having a positive impact on the lives of others, making a living while making a difference. Now here's a quick summary of our success so far. Officially launched in 2010, we're a legacy-focused, debt-free company. We own and operate our FDA-registered, NSF-certified manufacturing facility. We operate 18 distribution centers and ship to over 30 countries in North America, Europe, Australia, and Asia. We've achieved over 800 million in sales, paying out 350 million in commissions, positively impacting tens of thousands of people's lives, both physically and financially. To give you a better idea what is possible with the ASEA opportunity, here is a snapshot of our income disclosure statement, showing monthly average incomes at different levels of success. Now, of course, like any business, there's no guarantee of income, and these results are based on consistent effort, perseverance, and dedication. However, the fact is we have people earning great part-time incomes, full-time incomes, Plan B incomes, all the way to very significant lifestyle incomes, inducting over 35 members into our elite $1 Million Earners Club, and the best is yet to come. You see, ASEA wisely spent the first decade laying a foundation for long-term success. In 2020, we achieved global sales of 180 million, and we're on track to triple the size of the business in the next 5 years, taking the company to $500 million in annual revenue. And in doing so, paying out $1 billion in commissions to those who choose to partner with us. I think you'll agree that everything is in place for your success. A financially rock-solid, ethical, principle-based company. A patented protected breakthrough in health that is changing lives, and yet most people don't even know it exists. A generous compensation structure where you can generate a significant residual income. And perfect timing, where we are post-risk, but we still have most of our exciting growth ahead. And of course, you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself, with unlimited training and support from like-minded entrepreneurs who have already experienced success. Getting started in ASEA is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, visit the Team ASEA website of the person that introduced you to this video and click on the join button. Step 2, choose one of our discounted enrollment packs and become a product of the product. Step 3, opt in for our very user-friendly autoship that can be cancelled at any time. And with autoship, you start to earn valuable loyalty reward points that can be cashed in for free product. I want to thank you for your time today and watching this short video. If you'd like to learn more about the business model of network marketing and how the money's made, then take a few minutes and watch the next video. You'll also find on this site lots of short testimonial videos of people around the world sharing their experience with the ASEA business opportunity. And finally, if you'd like to dig deeper into the ASEA Redox breakthrough and how it's impacting people's lives, then I encourage you to visit our sister site, www.realredoxresults.com, where you can watch a short overview and listen to real people sharing real redox results. This is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and I want to wish you all the success that you believe you deserve. And bye for now.
Every time I watch that, I learn something else. And I encourage you to go back and look at both of the sites that are in the chat and just take time and learn more. One thing, I had never heard of an atomic medical physicist before ASEA. We're just so fortunate to be on the forefront of what is so exciting and so wonderful. So I'm going to invite Dr. Walker, and could we see the slide of his so we can introduce him?
Oh, yes.
There we go. So Dr. Walker has 35 years of experience in internal medicine and has a degree in preventive medicine and nutrition. He's also a skier, mountain climber, outdoorsman, and because of ASEA, he can enjoy those things more. And he also has more time to be with his children and grandchildren. So he's worked with ASEA for 9 years. He's on our medical professional board. He has experienced and witnessed lives changed because of Redox technology. And he's here today to tell us a little about his experience and then answer your questions. So should have told you while you're watching the video, be writing down your questions. But welcome, Dr. Walker.
Hi, Marian. Good to see you today. How are you doing?
We're excited.
Yeah, no kidding. It's an exciting time to be involved with ASEA. Yeah, so I guess you just told them who I am and what I know, or at least some idea of that. And hopefully not to impress you, but just to let you know that I kind of know what I'm talking about. And I've been dealing in human health and nutrition and Western medicine and alternative medicine and all of that stuff for a number of years. And I was first introduced to ASEA about 9 years ago. And when I was intrigued by the technology because I'd been reading about it. I'm a voracious reader in the sciences, and I was intrigued by this new science of redox, but quite frankly, we didn't know a lot about it back then. It seemed very, very promising, almost too good to be true. And yet the scientists were really just starting to figure out how important these molecules were. And now we know that they excel in several different areas that are essential to life. One is kind of command and control of all the biochemistry that goes on in our cells 24/7. And that's important because it has to work. If it doesn't work, we get sick or die. And then they're also hugely important in our body's natural mechanisms of repair and replacement at the cellular level. Because every tissue in our body, every organ in our body is made up of cells, and they may be different in some nature. Heart cell's not the same as a brain cell, but they all function at the foundation in the same way. They all generate energy in the same way. They all eliminate waste in the same way. And as it turns out, these molecules are essential for that basic foundational functioning of our cells. And without that, we end up with tissue and organ damage that oftentimes the only way to really repair it is to let the body do its job better. And that's where these molecules come to play. Our cells make these molecules or we wouldn't exist. They're that important. But for many of us, we don't make enough of them to have the kind of level of health that we could have if we supplement with them. And I guess a good analogy might be if you're a sports oriented, or if you just any kind of job that would best be done by, a team of 50 people, and you've only got enough people to power up about 10 of them because you don't have enough of these molecules to go around. And then all of a sudden you find another 30 or 40 players by supplementing with Redox. And now you have a much better chance of playing that game effectively and of winning. And winning in this game is being healthy. And these molecules can help you in a great regard there. When I was first introduced to this, I didn't have any overriding physical problems, but I was starting to notice my age and I wasn't being able to stay as physically fit. Marian shared with you that I have climbed mountains all over the world. I climbed Mount Everest in 1969, I think it was. But my body was just starting to say, hey, Dr. Walker, you can't do some of those things anymore. And I didn't like that answer. And so in looking at these molecules, I saw a potential solution to kind of, cheat time a little bit physiologically. But on the other hand, my wife had some really definite problems that nothing had been able to make a great impact. And when I suggested she try Redox, initially she was like anybody else, hesitant. And yet she tried it. And lo and behold, within a couple of months, her health had turned around dramatically. And in that same time period, I went from 1-a-day workouts and having to dial back on the amount of training I was doing, running, weightlifting, all that kind of stuff. I was doing 2-a-day practice, 2-a-day workouts on the days that I had time. But the other thing that really got my attention was the fact that I was working 50, 60, 70 hours a week at the hospital. And I didn't have a lot of time to do stuff with my family, didn't have a lot of personal time to train and that sort of thing. And the business model looked to me like it was going to be an answer to that problem. And over this last Christmas holiday, most of our kids were here in town. Our grandson was here, and I didn't do hardly a darn thing with the Cea because I wanted to spend that family time that I hadn't been able to do for years. When I was a full-time ER doc, and when a holiday came, there was no way you were going to get the whole holiday off. If you were lucky as a senior physician, you might get part of Christmas off, or you might bargain for getting more off if you work more over New Year or something like that. But in ASEA, I just took almost 10 days off and hardly did any ASEA, and yet the paychecks kept coming in. And so that freedom of being able to control my life and my time without having a significant decrease in income was very attractive to me and has worked out very well. We were made members of the $1 Million Club here a couple of years ago. And I don't look at that as just money in the pocket. I look at that as lives changed, because the only way you earn money in ASEA is if somebody takes ASEA, and if people take ASEA, their lives are going to improve. And so my vision for ASEA is that if we could get everybody in the world on this, we'd have a whole lot fewer sick people. We'd have a whole lot fewer people who are suffering needlessly, who have problems that Western medicine, and even Western medicine plus alternative medicine plus prayer and everything else hasn't worked. And yet when they start ASEA, things start to work very effectively for them. And it has been the answer to many people's prayers. And I realized that, as an internist ER doc, I knew I knew there were thousands of people out there who had problems that we weren't, as physicians, able to address significantly or enough for people to be happy and enjoy the kind of life that they had. So I knew there was huge demand for a product like this that could come in and do things that nothing else could do by activating and rejuvenating and accentuating our body's own ability to heal and repair at that foundational level. So I got excited about that 9 years ago. I'm more excited about it than I was then at this time, because the company is due to release for the first time in 22 years. They're due to release a new Redox product in April. I'm really excited about that. I wish I could tell you about it, but I don't know much about it. And I function under a non-disclosure agreement as part of the medical professional board. So even if I knew everything, I couldn't tell you. I'm bound to not disclose those things. But I think we're going to be very happy and very surprised by what the company has been working on now for 2-3 years to generate an additional product in this area. And they are the only company that has a application of redox signaling that you and I can access as consumers. They're the only one in the world. And so that's exciting to not only look back at what we've been able to do in the last, for me, 9 years. Company's been around for about 12 years. The technology has been in R&D, as you know, for, I think, during your preamble to me coming on, has been in R&D for well over 20 years, probably 25 years. So it's a well-known technology. It's just new to most people because the science of it is so new. And you might say, well, we've known about this for 25 years now, but the average time for a new idea of this sort to penetrate into society to the point where more and more people know about it and want it, is the average time for that's about 30 years, sometimes longer. And so we're even a little ahead of the curve on that. And this company was way ahead of the curve because they were researching these molecules for another purpose and another reason before we even knew what redox signaling molecules were really all about. So we're lucky to have this company. We're lucky to have this technology. And I think the sky's the limit for where we can go with helping people. The sky's the limit for where we can go if we decide to build a business with this. And at 73 years old, I'm as busy as excited about this as I was when I started at 64 or so, both the technology and the business model. And I wouldn't have to do this. I'm comfortable with my income, but I enjoy the heck out of helping people learn about this, getting people introduced to this, helping other people do the same thing. And it's really something that both my wife and I are very excited and very happy to be involved in this. So let's take a couple of questions here and then we can wrap this up so that you can do whatever else you were going to do this afternoon. Does anybody have any particular questions about redox molecules?
Yeah, I just put my hand up, and maybe I'll just go ahead and speak. If
I see that. I see that little palm up there.
Sorry. I was curious about how much, like my daughter has celiac disease, and seeing as you're an internist, what your thoughts are about that helping her because she also suffers a lot from depression as well. And she's tried a lot of different things. Medication doesn't work. She's tried some of that electronic stimulation stuff in the brain, and that hasn't worked. And I mean, it's more, I'm kind of thinking of the gut-brain connection, but so what are your thoughts on that?
Well, certainly that's an important connection. And these molecules do cross the blood-brain barrier. So they do get into the brain, into the central nervous system. And we've seen some people have great responses in both of those areas with a wide variety of gut issues, intestinal health issues, but also with mood changes and mood stabilization. And so I think there's a very good chance that it could help her. My advice would be to start it and really observe how she does over the next 3 to 4 months. Don't make an instant decision on this. Don't necessarily expect it to fix things overnight, because Crea isn't a cure or a treatment for anything. What it does is gives the body a tool, more tools to work on that and to start to get things working the way they're supposed to work by establishing what we call redox homeostasis, giving the cells enough of these to balance out some of the opposing forces of redox health. And I'm not going to get into the science. If you're a scientist and you want to learn about the science, I'll be doing an hour-long presentation Saturday morning at 8 a.m. But most of you probably aren't all that interested in learning the biochemistry of this. And unless you have, if you have some background in chemistry, then by all means, or biology or whatever, I would watch that. So Marian can give you the link for that. At 8 a.m. But yes, I think that there's a good chance that it would give your daughter some relief and some benefits over a period of time. And then, of course, this is a long-term, thing. It's most human conditions. If you fix them and then take away these molecules, they're just going to come back over time, because most of those conditions are chronic. And so this is a long-term commitment to a health technology that can make a significant difference. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Marian, I would be interested in that because she likes all the science stuff. So she would have to know that before I might even have to have her see that before she'd even consider taking it. So
sure, I can understand that. Yep, yeah. I can understand that. Sure.
Thanks.
And the other nice thing to know is that it's 100% safe. It's probably the only thing that I've worked with as a health professional that I can say that about, that there just are no downsides. There's no toxicity. There's no chance that these molecules are going to hurt anybody or do anything that could be considered harmful or dangerous or negative. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Any other questions? And if you're new to this, you may not know enough to ask a question. So certainly Gloria and Marian do this once a week, and they often have me visit for a few minutes with you. So, or if you have a question and you present it to them, they can always get that to me if they don't know the answer. So, if you have questions after this, be sure to ask them. So at this point, most people who are attending one of these gatherings for the first time kind of fall into three categories. And, one category is that you've heard enough that you want to try this. You want to put these molecules in your body to get the benefits of having a better redox cellular signaling environment, and to appreciate the benefits that it can give you. Some of you may have gone one step further and already be thinking of people that you could help with this, that you might want to suggest that they learn about this so they can make that decision whether or not they want to try it. And a third category is that you're intrigued by it, but you don't have enough information yet to make that decision. And Gail, it sounds like maybe you're in that category, that you just need more. You need more of an understanding, and that's not unusual. I mean, I find that it's just kind of like driving a car. Some people, all they really want to know is that if they open the door, sit in the seat, push the button, turn the key, put it in drive, it's going to go forward. And that's all they care about. They just want it to work when they need it. And other people want to know, how to change the oil. And some people want to know how to repair problems when they occur. But ultimately, this does work. So for people who just want to drive the car when they want to drive it, just take the molecules. If you want to learn more, there's plenty of sources to learn more information, and Marian or Gloria can certainly point you, or Ruth can point you in the right direction for learning whatever it is you need to learn. But I would urge you at some point in time to make a decision, because you've been given a gift with this information, quite frankly. And if you don't do anything with it, or you just procrastinate forever, you're not going to know what this could do for you. So make a decision one way or the other. And I would urge you to give this a try. And if you decide that, don't just try it for a week or two. Commit to a 3 to 4 month solid time of taking this, realizing that sometimes you need more than the initial recommended dose in the beginning, and then can often taper back to a lower dose for maintenance in the future. So, but we're getting ahead of ourselves there. I would say that whatever category you find yourself in right now, just get back to the person who invited you and let them know where you're at. If you're ready to get some of these molecules, for yourself, they can take care of that. They can take care of referrals if you have that, discuss the options along those lines, and answer any questions and provide more information if you need that. So It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and hopefully,
Another question.
sure. Mhm.
Can I just was curious with, I think you had suggested that I should get my daughter to take 12 ounces a day. Is that what you said, or did you say more than that?
It depends. How old is she?
30.
Yeah, she may need, I would say she needs at least 8 ounces a day. And, you know, many people that are 30 could get by with less if they were just looking for the wellness benefits. But with the problems that she has, I would say 8 ounces is probably going to be, is even probably going to be her long-term dose. But I would certainly get her to that 8 ounces pretty quickly. And she might need to go up to 12, and even she might need to go all the way up to 16 like my wife needed to do. But my wife was in her late 50s. And so she already has fewer of these molecules than your daughter has at 30. So, but I would say that for the conditions that she has, that 8 ounces is going to be a baseline for her to get started with. And then she could go from there. In that initial early period, she might need more, but yep.
Okay.
Can you make a recommendation on how she'd get started on that?
Well, I'd go 4 ounces a day for a day or two, and then bump her up to 8 ounces a day. And then if she's at 8 ounces a day, the best thing for her, ideally, if she could do it, would be 2 ounces 4 times a day, but at least take 4 ounces twice a day, at least get 8 ounces in. And then if she's not noticing anything, depending on how patient or inpatient she is, if she's patient, I would wait for a month to see if she needs to take more. If she's inpatient and really wants to kickstart this process a little more, after a couple of weeks, I would bump her up to 8 ounces and then on up above that if it's not working. Yeah, I mean, above 8 ounces, I'd go up to 10 and 12 if things aren't kicking in at the end of a month.
Okay. And like Gloria has told me before about, you know, a habit to get into with having it first thing in the morning. Do you have any tips about taking it like during the day? Like you said, ideally 2 ounces 4 times a day would be great, but even if doing 4 ounces twice a day, like, do you need to wait 15 minutes after the last time you've eaten something and then take it and then wait another 15 minutes, or?
Okay, so baseline is it's going to work no matter when you take it, but you're going to get a more efficient use of the molecules if you don't take it immediately before or right after eating. And so, but you don't need to wait more than about 15 minutes after you take this to eat, because the molecules get absorbed really quickly. But after a meal, I would try to wait an hour or so. And the longer you wait, the better, because your stomach's going to eventually empty out. But even if you take it closer to a meal, you're still going to get benefit of the molecules. You just won't get quite as much benefit as you would if your stomach was relatively empty.
Okay, thank you.
Great. All right. Well, I think we covered the questions for now. And
I have one more.
okay.
Is your Zoom 509-981-6004?
On Saturday morning?
Yes.
No, it's Alan's discoveracea.com.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's even better.
Yep. And it's presentation mode only, so I don't do Q&A on that presentation, but if you have questions, again, get back to Marian or Ruth or Gloria, and they can get them on to me if they can't answer them themselves. So great.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Have a good afternoon. I've got to go out and plow some snow.
Yeah, be careful. There's ice underneath that snow if it's like my house.
I know I was chipping ice off the sidewalk before I came in to do this. Now I got to go out and plow the driveway before. Supposed to get another bunch of snow tonight. So
Winter wonderland.
yep, absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well, we want to thank you all for spending these few minutes with us. And there are some excellent Zoom meetings that you can participate in. His is 8 o'clock on Saturday morning on www.discoveracea.com. Next Wednesday, we will be doing one that's similar to this at 3 o'clock. And every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, we have one hosted by Jerry White. So I see you popped up my picture. I was just thinking of the wonderful life I've had because of ASEA. As I said, my husband and I, we love to travel, and just having the fitness to do that. I'm 78 now, and I still am running Bloomsday and hiking. And before COVID hit, we got to go to Hobbiton. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. Also, just to be able to play with my grandkids and great grandkids. So feeling good is important, but also the relationships. I have pictures of Gloria and Ruth and I working together at a booth down at the bottom, a Zoom meeting with other friends, and doing this together, having a business where we're in charge. So Dr. Walker can take 10 days off whenever he wants, but we're not alone. We're all wanting to help each other and help the people that we want to bless. So I want to thank you for coming. Anything else, Gloria? Or
There's a question in the chat there, Marian.
okay, I lost my chat. What does it
And
say?
Debbie's wondering what the prices are.
Depends what you want. And I think I'm going to throw, who invited Debbie? Was it?
I did.
Yeah, we have packs that you can look at and price lists. Baseline, a case of ASEA is wholesale $130, and the Renew 28 is a tube for $35, I'm thinking. But when you buy a pack, you get special promotion prices because of loyalty rewards, which is a program that when it encourages to be on a monthly schedule for the amount that we order, we get points, and those points go to product. So I usually get a free case every couple months. And we also have nutrition programs. So Ruth can run those sheets to you and help you out. Any other questions?
Oh, okay, that's great. I'd recommend, Ruth, if you're up for it, just to jump on a Zoom maybe with Debbie, and then you could just kind of show her around a little bit and answer any questions she has that way.
We could do that. Would you like to meet right after this, or?
Oh,
You're-
you're on mute.
You're on mute, Debbie.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
great. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. It's been really good to see you. And we hope to see you in one of the other Zooms that'll be coming up this next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.